Allow me also to express my profound gratitude to Queen Catherine, who sits beside me. She has taken remarkable steps to strengthen the partnership between our two nations. I wish her every success in her new role within the British monarchy.
In the grand corridors of Windsor Castle, where old tapestries have witnessed centuries of power struggles and alliances, the atmosphere was thick with the scent of polished silver and blooming winter roses on that cold December night in 2025. Crystal chandeliers spread a warm golden light over the gathered dignitaries, their conversations a quiet murmur beneath a string quartet performing Beethoven's Ode to Joy. King Charles III, his face showing both royal composure and the subtle exhaustion of recent health issues, lifted his glass to celebrate the lasting friendship between Britain and Germany. Beside him, Queen Camilla adjusted her historic sapphire brooch, a symbol of continuity dating back to Queen Victoria's time, as she surveyed the room with practiced grace. Yet as the state banquet for German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier and his wife Elke Budenbender continued, a ripple of tension moved through the luxury of St. George's Hall. This was no routine diplomatic event. It was the first German state visit to the UK in nearly 30 years, a major moment during Europe's shifting geopolitical climate, with Ukraine's defense taking center stage. The king had earlier condemned Russian aggression in his welcome speech, promising unwavering support alongside Germany. But as the night went on, attention shifted to the seating arrangement, carefully planned, yet full of subtle messages. At the top of the horseshoe-shaped table, built to hold over 100 guests in a tradition from Queen Victoria's era, sat the king and the German president. On Steinmeier's right was Princess Catherine, the Princess of Wales, stunning in a sparkling blue gown and the rarely seen Indian circlet tiara, a debut that shocked royal watchers. The placement was significant. Protocol usually reserves such a spot for senior royals or those with direct diplomatic roles. Queen Camilla, seated farther down, chatted animatedly with other guests, but her distance from Steinmeier's side stirred quiet whispers among aides. The banquet's three-course menu, featuring poached supreme of turbot, Windsor pheasant, and a raspberry soufflé, was served flawlessly by uniformed staff. Conversations drifted across topics like renewable energy and cultural partnerships, but the real tension was hidden in the details. Insiders later said preparations had started more than a year earlier, with the table layout personally checked by the master of the household. Still, the night would be remembered not for the food or the sparkling jewels, but for a speech that unintentionally exposed the monarchy's shifting structure. When Steinmeier stood to speak, the room fell silent. Speaking in perfect English, he praised the king's leadership and the shared democratic values of both nations. Then came the moment that sent shockwaves across the hall. Allow me also to express my deep gratitude to Queen Catherine, who sits beside me today. She has taken remarkable steps to strengthen the partnership between our two nations. I wish her every success in her new role within the British monarchy. The slip lingered in the air like a wrong note in a symphony. Had the German president just referred to Catherine as queen? And why was Camilla not mentioned at all? The king held his smile, but observers noticed a brief flicker in his expression, a subtle sign of the internal dynamics at play. This was more than a diplomatic mistake. It was a glimpse into the monarchy's quiet evolution. With Charles's reign defined by health concerns and a drive for modernization, quiet talk of restructuring had been drifting through palace hallways. Catherine's prominent role in this visit, from greeting guests to being seated beside Steinmeier, underscored her growing influence. Data from recent polls, including YouGov's 2025 tracker showing her approval at 75% among Britons, highlighted her as a stabilizing presence. The evening's events, broadcast instantly by global media, fueled worldwide speculation and drew comparisons to key historical moments like Queen Elizabeth II's early rise to power. To understand this fully, it's important to consider the broader purpose of state visits. These aren't just ceremonial gatherings, they are strategic tools designed to strengthen alliances. The UK's post-Brexit diplomacy has leaned heavily on European relationships, with Germany serving as a crucial partner in trade, security and energy. Steinmeier's visit, the third state visit of 2025 following those of France and the US, reinforced a united front against external threats. Catherine's participation, including her previous diplomatic engagements in Germany, positioned her as a bridge builder, with her new role possibly referring to expanded responsibilities within the royal household's executive operations. The speech's implications spread quickly, sparking debates online and in professional circles. Was this an accidental reveal of internal shifts, or a deliberate acknowledgement of Catherine's rising status? As the banquet wrapped with applause and formal toasts, the night signaled a turning point where tradition collided with inevitable change. As dessert plates were cleared and coffee served in delicate porcelain cups, the atmosphere in St. George's Hall became charged. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier, a veteran diplomat known for his careful speech, stood to give his address. He began with the expected courtesies, thanking King Charles for the warm welcome and noting the historic significance of the visit, the first by a German president in 27 years. He referenced shared history, from wartime reconciliation to modern partnerships on climate action and support for Ukraine, earning nods from guests including Prime Minister Keir Starmer and various foreign dignitaries. Then came the key moment, as Steinmeier turned slightly toward his right and said, "Allow me also to express my profound gratitude to Queen Catherine, who sits beside me today. She has taken remarkable steps to strengthen the partnership between our two nations. I wish her every success in her new role within the British monarchy." The words hit with the impact of an unintended revelation. The room, filled with over 100 leaders from politics, business and culture, collectively paused. Queen Camilla, seated several places away, kept her composure while speaking quietly with Elke Budenbender, but the omission stood out sharply. There was no mention of Camilla's contributions, despite her active involvement earlier in the day, from the carriage procession to hosting duties. Eyewitness accounts reported by the BBC and The Guardian described a subtle but noticeable shift in the room's energy. Aides exchanged concerned glances, and social media erupted almost instantly, with Queen Catherine trending worldwide. Steinmeier, likely unaware of the commotion, continued with his toast to enduring friendship, but the damage or revelation was already done. Analysts later suggested a possible briefing error, given Catherine's increased diplomatic visibility, though others viewed it as an unintentional truth reflecting deeper internal changes. State banquet seating protocols follow strict traditions set by the royal household. The monarch sits at the centre, with the guest of honour placed to the immediate right or left, and other royals arranged by precedence. Historical precedents, such as the 2019 banquet for President Trump seating 170 guests, show how placement signals hierarchy. In this case, Catherine's position beside Steinmeier was deliberate, highlighting her growing diplomatic prominence. She had welcomed the German couple earlier alongside Prince William, bowing respectfully to the King and Queen in a show of unity that reinforced the family's public front. The reference to a new role added fuel to speculation. The royal household structure includes 5 major administrative departments: the Private Secretary's Office, the Privy Purse, the Master of the Household, the Lord Chamberlain's Office, and the Lord Steward's Department, each managing everything from engagements to finances. Catherine's involvement in executive decisions, especially those connected to foreign affairs, has expanded notably since her cancer recovery in 2024. Experts have emphasized that her focus on early childhood development and mental health advocacy naturally aligns with international partnerships. Steinmeier's phrasing suggested she was being elevated to a quasi-queenly standing, possibly in preparation for William's future reign. Reactions were swift. Palace insiders dismissed it as a simple linguistic mistake. Steinmeier's English is excellent, but royal titles can be confusing. Still, the omission of Camilla, who wore a historic diamond tiara and sapphire brooch, raised questions. Her role in past state banquets has been significant, yet this night clearly showcased Catherine's rising status. Ipsos polls from 2025 showed Catherine's approval climbing to 68%, outpacing other royals amid modernisation efforts within the monarchy. This moment mirrored past diplomatic missteps, but its timing, during ongoing discussions about succession planning, given Charles's age and health, magnified its impact. As the evening shifted into informal mingling, Steinmeier's comments continued to echo, becoming a catalyst for broader conversations about the monarchy's future leadership. The state visit itself was a display of polished diplomacy set against Windsor's historic landscape. When President Steinmeier and First Lady Budenbender arrived on December 3, 2025, they were welcomed with full ceremonial splendour. A carriage procession through flag-lined streets, a guard of honour, and national anthems echoing beneath grey skis. In his welcome speech, King Charles emphasised the strong friendship between the two nations, promising joint efforts against Russian aggression and cooperation on sustainable energy. UK-German ties have grown stronger post-Brexit, with trade reaching £150 billion annually and ongoing collaboration on NATO commitments. This visit, personally invited by the King, built on earlier engagements, including Charles's 2023 state visit to Germany, his first overseas trip as monarch. Catherine played a central role in this renewed partnership. She has championed initiatives like the Early Years Programme, working closely with German organisations on child development, and her 2023 visit to Hamburg focused on education and youth exchanges. Her diplomatic reach extends further, with engagements in the US and Poland, but Germany holds unique importance due to historical connections, including Prince Philip's German heritage and shared reconciliation efforts. In 2025, during Europe's energy crisis, Catherine hosted roundtables on green technology, linking UK startups with German companies, efforts that Steinmeier likely referenced in his speech. The Banquet's pivotal moment highlighted this. Catherine's seat next to the president symbolised her role as a key architect of the revitalised partnership. Reports from Tatler confirmed that she and William played central roles in planning the itinerary, from welcome ceremonies to cultural events. Etiquette expert Debritz noted that her placement reflected precedence and intent, unmistakably elevating her public and diplomatic visibility. The broader context includes the monarchy's soft power influence in foreign policy. With 1,333 staff members supporting the firm, as the royal institution is known, the executive management team's work on state visits is extensive. Catherine's increasing involvement, potentially through advisory positions, suggests she is being prepared for more responsibility as the future Queen consort. Queenly responsibilities sooner than expected have become a real possibility amid rumours of King Charles reducing his schedule. While the visit was overall a diplomatic success, with Steinmeier reaffirming commitments to security, it was Catherine's visibility that signalled a generational shift. Her efforts in strengthening UK-German ties became the central theme of the evening. Princess Catherine's rise from university student to diplomatic heavyweight is a story of steady, strategic growth. Born Catherine Middleton in 1982 to a middle-class family whose parents ran a party supply business, she met Prince William at the University of St Andrews in 2001. Their 2011 wedding drew nearly 2 billion viewers worldwide, but her true influence unfolded after marriage through her patronages in mental health and early childhood development. In recent years, her diplomatic footprint has expanded significantly. During King Charles's 2023 visit to Germany, she participated from a distance, but by 2025, she was leading major engagements, including a Berlin summit focused on family welfare. Her notable contributions to UK-German relations include strengthening educational partnerships and working with the Royal Foundation and German NGOs on child mental health programs. Polls like Gallup's 2025 survey rank her as the most admired royal, with 55% of Europeans approving of her. The new role mentioned by Steinmeier may refer to her integration into the monarchy's executive leadership. The royal household, structured like a corporate board with departments overseeing policy, strategy, and public engagements, has reportedly added Catherine to high-level advisory groups, giving her influence comparable to that of a queen in practice. Her continued seating next to visiting presidents, from France's Emmanuel Macron in 2025 to other world leaders, reflects a clear pattern. Royal protocol allows flexibility for those with relevant diplomatic ties, and Catherine's consistent placement shows her rising status. With King Charles facing health challenges, experts quoted by Vanity Fair believe she is preparing for Queen consort duties earlier than expected. This reinforces the idea that she holds near queenly authority, especially in global outreach. Her resilience after her 2024 cancer diagnosis has further boosted her image, making her the leading symbol of the monarchy's modern evolution. Queen Camilla's position as consort since King Charles's 2023 coronation has been one of steady, quiet support, centred on her reading room literacy initiative and long-standing advocacy against domestic abuse, causes she has backed for decades. Yet during the glittering state banquet for German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier, the conspicuous omission of her contributions in his speech subtly highlighted possible shifts within the royal hierarchy. Seated several places away from the president at the horseshoe-shaped table in St George's Hall, her role appeared secondary despite her striking look in a historic diamond tiara. the Burmese ruby tiara worn for only the second time in 2 weeks, and a sapphire brooch once owned by Queen Victoria, all strong symbols of her rooted place in royal tradition. Her hosting duties included greeting guests in a coordinated royal blue ensemble that matched Princess Catherine's in a show of family unity, as covered widely in the press. Born Camilla Rosemary Shand in 1947 into a well-connected British family, her father a decorated war veteran and wine merchant, her mother from aristocratic lineage, her road to becoming queen was turbulent. Her decades-long relationship with Charles, beginning in the 1970s, culminated in their 2005 civil wedding after years of tabloid criticism, especially following Princess Diana's death. Once viewed negatively, with public approval dipping below 20% in the late 1990s, Camilla rebuilt her reputation through consistent public service, conducting over 100 engagements a year and supporting charities such as the London Taxi Drivers Charity for Children. Recent polling shows her upward trend. A YouGov survey from August 2025 recorded 43% of Britons viewing her positively, a dramatic improvement, though still behind Catherine's 71%. However, Steinmeier's heavy emphasis on Queen Catherine fueled online discussion and media interpretation that some of Camilla's frontline diplomatic responsibilities may be shifting. Analysts suggested she might transition toward more behind-the-scenes executive or advisory positions within the palace, enabling a smoother generational transition. The royal family operates almost like a quasi-governmental agency with distinct departments and hierarchical leadership, making such reassignments feasible and efficient, especially when accommodating health or age-related needs. Sources speaking to outlets like The Telegraph have indicated that Camilla may scale back her workload as she approaches her 78th birthday in July 2025. After supporting King Charles during his cancer treatment, insiders believe that some Queen consort duties are already transitioning informally to Catherine as part of the monarchy's modernisation plan. This type of shift has historical precedent. Consorts like Queen Adelaide in the 19th century reduced influence during transitional periods, while Queen Mary adjusted her position throughout the early 20th century. Camilla's noticeable omission from Steinmeier's speech quietly echoed these past shifts, suggesting the monarchy may be moving steadily toward its next era, with Princess Catherine positioned to take on expanded leadership sooner rather than later. Steinmeier's praise, whether a diplomatic slip or a reflection of internal briefings, symbolized this shifting landscape, with her role now appearing to align more with Catherine in the public's changing perception. As the younger royal steps into the spotlight during major international events, reactions to the speech spread across media platforms, revealing both divided and largely positive sentiment toward the monarchy's evolving dynamic. In the UK, royal supporters welcomed Catherine's elevated role as a sign of renewed energy, with The Telegraph calling it a generational handoff that blends modernity with tradition. Progressives, however, flooded platforms like X to analyse the noticeable overlook of Camilla, sparking heated debates with hashtags like Camilla snubbed, generating thousands of likes and reposts, with some users claiming it highlighted long-standing biases in royal protocol. Still, overall coverage leaned favourable, with outlets like Hello magazine applauding Catherine's show-stealing presence at the banquet, where she stunned in a custom gown and historic tiara that drew comparisons to iconic royal moments. Globally, reactions differed based on cultural perspective. American outlets like CNN and People framed the moment as a progressive move toward a more modern monarchy, highlighting Catherine's diplomatic composure as a symbol of empowerment and resilience following her 2024 health struggles. European coverage, including Germany's Euronews, interpreted Steinmeier's remarks as a gracious acknowledgement of stronger bilateral ties, with analysts noting it underscored shared values in the post-Brexit era. Meanwhile, conservative voices in France and Italy raised concerns about protocol missteps, fearing it could weaken the monarchy's timeless image. Polling reflected this shift in real time. Ipsos's October 2025 data, gathered during heightened royal scrutiny, showed Catherine's favourability climbing to 71%, up from prior months, while Charles held steady at 56% and Camilla trailed at 45%, highlighting a generational preference. YouGov's August 2025 tracker reinforced the trend, placing Catherine at 71% positive ratings, Charles at 59%, and Camilla at 43%, numbers that surged after the banquet as "Hacked Queen Catherine" went viral, gathering millions of impressions and showcasing widespread admiration for her diplomatic skill and public presence. Feminist groups amplified the moment, launching online campaigns celebrating Catherine's rise as a win for women in leadership, while traditionalists worried about potential disruptions to long-held hierarchies. Broader discussions around the monarchy's relevance deepened, with YouGov reporting 59% UK support overall, a figure boosted by events like this that mix tradition with modern appeal. Across Asia and the Commonwealth, reactions leaned hopeful, viewing Catherine's growing role as a bridge to younger generations. This global split not only highlighted cultural differences, from America's focus on personal narratives to Europe's concern for institutional stability, but also showed how moments like these can reignite public interest in the crown and fuel debates about its future in a changing world. Historically, this mirrors turning points such as the shifts surrounding Edward VII's abdication, where roles were rapidly redefined. Catherine's trajectory reflects Queen Elizabeth's early diplomatic grooming, preparing her for eventual queenship. Family dynamics add more complexity. William's steady backing of Catherine's rise, while balancing his duties as heir, contrasts with past royal tensions. Charles's intention to streamline the monarchy further enables this transition. Speculation about Catherine's future queenly authority comes from long-term succession planning, with experts pointing out her readiness amid Charles's ongoing challenges. History shows that consorts like Camilla often shift into more advisory positions. Looking forward, Catherine's emerging role signals a refreshed monarchy with greater focus on global issues. Camilla's position may naturally evolve into mentorship, helping maintain unity. The visit's long-term impact strengthened UK-Germany relations and set the stage for future joint efforts. Polls suggest Catherine's influence will continue growing, with her queen-in-all-but title status serving as an early step toward formal ascension. As Windsor settles into the night, the speech stands not as a conclusion, but as the beginning of a new chapter,